This Spaceship pop-up card is really good fun, and it even comes complete with its own alien. It's fairly simple to make, and what we need to do is print out the backing sheet and our pop-up sheet here, and then cut out all the elements, and I'll show you then how we fold the tabs and where we place them on the backing paper in order to make the whole pop-up work. Now, once you've got all the parts cut out, we're ready to concentrate on the folding and sticking. So I'm going to sort of remove all the bits we don't need. And in fact, we're going to concentrate on this main strap here, because that's the one that's going to give us the main lift or take off on our space rocket. So I'll show you how we just crease and fold and then stick that to the background. And then we'll have a look at the other strap that we've got here that moves the alien around the planet. The next task is to now put all the score lines in, and you'll see the little white lines here. So those are your guides, and with your scoring tool just run along and put in all the necessary score lines to help us fold this to along there. We actually have a V fold happening here in this section there, which gives us the lift, as it were, a mechanical force to move our rocket. And just coming along, I'm just doing the last tabs here. And don't forget, of course, we've got the second part which is going to glue onto it, and I'll show you in a second, so we'll score those lines as well. Now when it comes to folding, just simply fold in all your tabs, the V fold here, and this one now comes back on itself like so. So all those elements fold back, and this is going to be the main strap and V-fold that literally launches our rocket. And with the second one, again, just pre-score all the lines so that we're ready to fold it, and those just now go back in on themselves as well. And this part will now stick on to the first one. We can see what you need to do is just line this up with the main creases that you've already created and just pop that down. This not only gives a strength with this particular piece, but it also helps to just disguise the mechanism, so it kind of camouflages it in. And once that's on, just again fold down. If I fold that, we just fold that and in again, and there we go. That's the main mechanism which we're going to use to launch our spaceship. So let's now go and apply that to the backing sheet. You need to have a good strong crease in your backing card here. That's going to help lift all the mechanisms on the page. And the next thing to do is, as I said, put our rocket launcher down. Now if you look on your backing sheet, you'll notice there's a star with a little black dot on it. If I can just point that out to you a little bit more clearly, and then our mechanism, which is the V fold and the tabs here, comes from the top of the card and just touches to the tip there. You now need to glue the tabs in order to make the V-fold, and this has got a lot of work to do launching this spaceship, so you really must make sure you use a good quality strong glue. Glue the outer parts here and those two tabs, because they're going to tuck under, and we're now going to apply that to the base card. Now to apply it and get it to go into the right position, we're working from the top of the card. Remember, we've got our little dot there, and effectively we're creating a V-fold like this, which is going to spring up from there. So I would actually undo the whole mechanism, look at the point there and just have the pointer touching that part of the star. Make sure that you are within the crease, so you can hold it up a little bit like that, just touch that point to there, and then just get the next tab just sitting there. And if you can see, we create this kind of like little V fold there, so that's definitely in the right position. Once that's in, as you can see, we just simply fold this all over on that center line there, and this part will line up with the crease, and then you can fold that part of the card over, push down firmly to attach it, and now as we open up, you can see the mechanism swinging out, and that's now all in position and sitting comfortably. So the next thing to do is to put this tab down. I'm just going to slide a little bit of paper under here because the mechanism's on there. This really does have to be glued very, very well. So stick that down there, pull that off. Okay, Now, in order to get this mechanism to work properly, as we close the card, you need to just pull that back so that a sticky tab is sitting up right there. This is all going to swing in, let it go like that, and just hold it down, and again a little bit of rub, so that as the card opens up, that's now in the right position. And doing it this way, everything works beautifully because it's not fighting, it's stuck in exactly the right position where it wants to go. Sticking the rocket on takes a little bit of care. What I'm going to do is just put a little tab of glue here, just initially, just to hold it into position. Now, although the tab is facing there, we're not putting the rocket on exactly in that same position, because otherwise it's going to stick out of the card when it folds down. What you need to do is just sort of measure halfway with our rocket here and give a little bit of twist, and have about 2 or so centimeters sticking out, at least 2 centimeters sticking out the top, to give it that visual impact, so we can see here, so it looks like it's coming out of the card. Just tentatively put that down, and what we're trying to do is just have the rocket hidden as we close the card. And as you can see there, I've just got a little bit of the tip showing there, and then the wing is very, very close to the edge. So that tells me what I need to do now is just move it round a little bit and back a little bit. If I just pop that there, try it again, and that's pretty good. The tip is nicely hidden inside and the wings aren't coming out over the edge. So once you've established where that is, what I would do then is just carefully peel back and just put a little bit more glue then onto the mainstay to hold it on, and then we know that's in position. And you can see now as we open and close the card, our space rocket launches itself out and comes up quite high. It really does look quite spectacular. You can see now the V-fold pulling up the spaceship as it launches. Now the next thing we can do, if you want to, is to actually build up another layer onto the spaceship here. And what I've done is put some foam pads on here, 4mm foam pads, just to raise it up a little bit, and then I can just rest that over the top one there, line it all up, and it's really just for a visual effect. We get a little bit of sort of decoupage happening there with the flames coming out underneath. And I said that just adds a little bit to the effect, and if I just close the card up there, you can see it just raises it slightly and adds another element and dimension. Well, that's our spaceship now working for us. So the next thing to do is to actually put in the alien as he comes round on his spaceship here. The tab and V-fold that lift and turn the spaceman looks like this, and you need to just fold that in the appropriate places. So score the line down there, that's the end part, and then we've got a score line there, and we've got one here. Those are our 2 verticals, and then we've got the V-fold, and to show you how that works, we need to just again put a nice strong crease into that, because that's a little bit tricky to make, especially at this size. So as I lift that up, what you've got to do is actually begin the folding. Now if you bend that one over there, that's the part you're going to glue on that particular section, and then we've got this fold here, another mounting fold. If I just fold that to crease it to begin with, this actually becomes a valley fold, so it goes like that. It just helps me establish the crease. And then we now need to concentrate on this V-fold here, and that's a little bit tricky to make. So the thing with this is that that part comes up and then that bit goes down there. So what you need to do is just sort of tease that line, and I find just pinching it from the end there begins to make it move. And it is awkward, and I'll not kid you that it isn't. And once you see that line appearing, you can now just fold that from the back there. That actually just comes over on a good day. That comes over and lines up with that side there. So we'll just tease that bit over to that point, and then do the same again on this side. Just pinch it and you'll see it beginning to pull in now. If I can just show you there, if I just push that bit in there, that begins to line up, that comes down, and it all happens for you. So let me just show you that again. I pull that one in, I push it down with my thumb in there, and then just pull that bit over. That should line up, and we get our fold in there, as you can see. Right, so when it comes to gluing, it's important you only glue the right parts. So we have this tab here, good strong glue on there, and we need to just glue this part here. If I can turn it over so you can recognize where it is, it's just that outer section there. So that comes over, flatten it because it's a little bit easier, and again a good strong amount of glue. And I'm going to use my pencil here to show you. We're just going into this area here, just there. That's the only part that needs the glue, but it has to be strong because that's going to lift and pull our mechanism, which is our little spaceman as he comes round the planet. Now the placing of this isn't too critical, but if you look at the bottom of the paper and come up by 2 centimeters, you'll see a rather large star sitting in the constellation here, right on the crease line, and that's your cue for where this goes. So simply place your tab down and just line it up approximately with that one there above it. So we've come in effectively 2 centimeters. I would just move this paper up so it just butts against the crease nicely and doesn't go over the edge, and that becomes our first anchor point for the tab right there. So the next thing to do is just to lean this over, because effectively that's going to be coming and sticking down here. In order to do that, we need to lean this tab backwards, and we need to just come in like so. So if you can see the mechanism there, the movement, we pull that tab back, it's attached there, we come in, you push down, and you can see this all concertinaing in onto itself. So that will put it in the right position as we close the card to stick it down. And it is important because then it finds itself in the right position. If you're unsure if you're doing it properly, just lightly tack it first, but you can see now as we open the card, if you're unsure, just lightly rub it down, but you can see now as we open the card that's coming in and then opening up on our strap line there. So the next thing to do is to stick our alien down on the inner part of the fold. With your trusty alien, just pop him over and about a couple of centimeters on, and then come up about 5 millimeters and pop a little bit of glue on the end of the tab there. Come back to our card, and this alien now is going to stick down on to the first tab there, which is rising up. Let me show you. So I'm going to stick him down about here, and if we have him in the upright position when the card's open, he will move like so. So as we open the card, he appears to spin round. Now in order to control his movement, we're going to place the planet down, and that is going to stick onto this part here, and that will then force that down a little bit as well, as you can see, and that'll just create the illusion of the spaceship coming round. And if we just place the planet so it's just a wee bit above the yellow part there, you won't see too much of that mechanism as it moves as well. Okay, so a dab of glue now onto the arm here, and I again would just close the card up to give it, or open it rather, so it's nice and flat. Work out where that yellow part is on the lift. It doesn't matter if that shows, because it looks a little bit like it's, the idea of it there is if you do see any of it, it's and you may want to then move that out of the way, but it just looks a little bit like it's the rockets or something firing. Stick the planet down, and then as we open and close, alien will come hurtling around the planet towards our space rocket. And now as we open and close the card, you can see all the elements working. We get the space rocket coming up, and we get our alien shooting down around the planet, racing towards him. This truly is a fantastic card, and I think So I said, kids will love it. In fact, grown-ups love it. I love it.